Hello, everybody. My name is Marcin Malka. I am Medical Affairs Director of Podos Wound Clinic in Warsaw, in Poland. And today I have a plan to share with you experience of my team in the area of management of exudate. It's not so easy to talk about exudate because it's very complicated strategy to catch it in the dressings, and I think that we have a lot of ideas on the market and between clinicians. But I have some ideas. I have some of my experience and my team experience, and I hope it will be helpful for you in your daily practice. Thank you for Smith and Nephew for the possibility to organizing this event. And today we have in Poland very sunny weather. My boys and my wife stay outside the home in the garden. So I hope then you have similar weather in your countries. Okay, let's start. At the beginning, I want to share with you a very complicated case. This is still during healing process, but probably it was one of the most complicated patients in Podos. Why? First of all, the patient was in septic in sepsis, so it was necessary to give this intravenous antibiotic therapy, and there was a lot of problems with digestion, with offloading, with infection, with exudate also. And another problem, the patient is from Germany, and this foot was qualified for amputation. So it's very hard to decide save the limb before the amputation when our colleagues from another country decide to perform it. But we try. We all the time we try to do it, and I hope it will be succeed. At this moment, it's not so big wound on the heel area, and the small caves in the dorsal part of this foot. But from the beginning, there was a big problem on the plantar area. There is there was no any offloading. So because it is the neuropathic diabetic foot syndrome, there was damage all this tissue on the plantar area. You can observe the caves on the second picture. There is unfortunately osteomyelitis inside, so a lot of exudate from these caves we have to absorb at the beginning in the negative pressure, next in the super absorbents. Of course, in this kind of cases, it's impossible to save this limb before amputation without negative pressure. In my opinion, it is impossible. So the negative pressure was a part of our treatment plan. After 1 month, all causal problems were resolved, and there was a good bleeding from the wound bed. There was good offloading. There was a few visits with the dietitian, with diabetologist. We finished our intravenous antibiotic therapy, and we decided to perform the skin graft. It is the outpatient procedure in our clinic. And unfortunately, because of osteomyelitis in this a few bones, we debrided, and we put you can observe it on this picture. we put the bone substitute with gentamicin to this cave. And next we continue the heel area protected with negative pressure, and this cave with super absorbent. It is all in life, non-bordered. And of course, all the time there was a total contact cast, and the patient used a wheelchair because it's impossible to use this foot at this moment. So still we had a problem with exudate. At the beginning there was around 200 milliliters per day. Now it's only a few milliliters. But the skin is very gentle, and we need a special...
Przepraszam, Marcin. Jest problem z widocznością prezentacji. Część osób jej nie widzi. Spróbuj ją zamknąć i wczytać jeszcze raz, otworzyć.
Okay, rozumiem. Sorry, because we have some problem with the presentation. I close the presentation and open again. And now it's okay. It's worked for me. Okay, thank you, Alexandra. So sorry for the technical problem. We have no problems before, so I think maybe some internet connection, but in my house at this moment is very, very good. Okay, so during all this half a year process of healing, we have a problem with exudate. At the beginning, there was a very huge exudate. Now it's not so big, but we need a very small product ready to be put inside the total contact cast and with a big capacity. It's not a good idea to use a foam at this moment, but we need a flat super absorbent. So the Alive in Life non-bordered was a good idea. Okay, I don't know what will be the finish, but I hope we will be succeed and the patients will have the possibility to be mobile. And a few words about exudate, because exudate is necessary. It's a normal part of our healing process, and we know that without exudate there is no healing, because all cells need a wet environment to be mobile. But when there is a huge exudate, and this is the moment when exudate it's a harmful substance, and it damages the skin, it damages the wound bed, it damages the extracellular matrix. So it's a good idea to keep it in the some canister, in some super absorbent, in some foam, and we have to do it. And of course, we have a lot of products, and we have to choose which one will be good for this amount of exudate. We have a lot of possibility. We have a lot of foam or super absorbent product on the market. This is the Smith and Nephew proposition. We have a silicone foam dressing. A lot of cases, a lot of products. Each of them is another. Of course, we have a foam like Alive in Gentle, like Alive in Gentle Border or Alive in Gentle Border Oval Light. We have also the product with foam, only very, very flat foam, only 2 millimeters of foam, and with super absorbent. There is completely another catching this exudate. It's not a mechanical, it's a chemical. So it's very useful in case of pressure. I mean, diabetic foot syndrome, because there is always problem with offloading. I mean Venus legulsor, because we put the compression system with 40 millimeters of mercury or more pressure, and some foam don't catch this don't keep this exudate enough. And we have a product with foil, with adhesives. In case of Alevin Life, there is a very wide piece of foil around this super absorbent, and we have also a product non-bordered, and this is the Alevin Life non-bordered. This is maybe 3 or 4 months on the market in Poland, but so it's not reimbursed at this moment. But we wait for this situation, because almost all products we use are reimbursed by our government, and this is very special product because it's a product with super absorbent, but with contact layer, with possibility to be cut. It's an unusual situation in case of super absorbent, because normally super absorbent is one sheet. It's impossible to cut it. So I hope it will be good for especially for venous legulsor, for pressure ulcer with a huge exudate, and with a possibility to be put at, for example, to total contact cast. And Alevin Gentle is also non-bordered, but there is only foam, so it's for moderate or minimal exudate, not for huge exudate. But of course, we have a lot of kinds of wounds, and we need a lot of product. It's impossible to take one of them. Okay, it will be good for every wound. So we need a big portfolio of product. Of course, not one company. We need a product. Another company also, because every company has some special product. I think that foam are specialty of Smith and Nephew. And Alevin adhesive, it's the most popular product in Poland. It is reimbursed. It's cheap, and there is no silicone contact layer. It's acrylic glue, so it's better for the wound with good quality peri-wound skin, non-macerated. But I think it's the most popular foam dressing in our clinic. And non-adhesive dressing, non-adhesive dressing, foam dressing are using with compression system, are using in case of infection. We are afraid to use a foil in case of infection, because it sometimes it promotes this infection. So we start with close occlusive dressing, but after finishing the infection. Okay. And a few cases, a few dressing application from our clinic, from my patients. Alevin Life, this area had a special product, Alevin Life Sacrum, but it was too big for this young girl. So the normal shape, like a butterfly, was enough for this case. Alevin Gentle, it's very had good flexibility, and it is good for the place when there is a need to flex this and stretch this dressing. So it's better to use in this area. Gentle Alevin Life is too strong, too hard for this area. Maybe for the old people, but for the young, it will be a risk of leak. And also to the shoe, Alevin Gentle is very flat, so it's easier to use on a plantar area. I mean about mobile active patients. Alevin adhesive, 17.5 centimeter. Why? It's very popular in Poland, this kind of dressing. Alevin gentle oval, Alevin gentle light oval. It's the light form of Alevin gentle border for the last part of our healing process, for epithelialization. There is no big capacity for exudate in these dressings, but it's good for this promote the epithelialization to the finish this epithelialization period. So we also need this kind of product. Alevin Life Heal with a special shape. I show you on the next pictures. A lemon gentle border with normal size. Sacrum, Alevin adhesive sacrum. It's also popular. It's with acrylic glue, but with a special shape dedicated for the sacrum area. And non-adhesive dressing, foam dressing, Alevin Life non-adhesive. It's very popular and also cheap reimbursement product. It's easy to cut, so we try to change the size when we need. And Alevin Life non-bordered, some new product in Poland, maybe 3 or 4 months, and we have a lot of experience with another product and only a few cases with this product. But it is good because there is no big capacity, big volume of this product, and we have a big capacity. So this is super absorbent, but good for under the compression, good under the total contact cast. Okay, and we have a lot of problem with exudate. You have 2 situations on the visits: dressing changes too late or dressing changes on time. So 2 cases from February, yes. The last part of healing process, epithelialization. We have a 100% of granulation tissue in this area. It was a wound connected with infection of MRSA. And on the skin because of pressure ulcer. And we decided that the Alevin Life, Alevin Gentle Border Light will be enough on this area because exudate was not so heavy, but you can observe that it was not good choose because after 3 days there is a leakage, there is too heavy exudate, and we have to exchange to the another product with higher capacity, for example, Alevin Life. And another case, what was nice, there was no leakage. But the Alevin adhesive is completely full. And what is interesting, observe the skin. There is no maceration. So it's the very special construction of foam with adhesive layer, because the exudate is going just to the foam, and there is no leakage on the peri-wound skin because a very good acrylic glue connect this product with the skin, with the healthy skin. So the capacity of the product is higher than only the wound area, but this exudate is not just on the skin; it is in the product. And another case when dressings was changed in a timely manner. You can observe the black exudate because there was Acticoat flex free, and also there was an infection. We decided to use unleavened adhesive because it was the finish of this infection, and there was a heavy exudate still, and the skin is in good condition. There is no macerated skin here. Why? In the same like during the last case, there is a contact layer, and the exudate is in the product. It's not on the skin. And two cases with Pico, similar situation. There is a good time for changing the dressing at this moment. This is also good time for changing, but of course there is also a lot of place inside this product. But the dressing changing was necessary because it was 7 days from the application, so it's the maximum time of duration of break between the visits. And we have a special dressing changing indicator in Unleavened Life product. I don't know, but probably there is no another product with this kind of indicator. It's helpful for healthcare professional. We need some indicator for a properly decision. So I think it's helpful for our nurse, for doctors. We have a situation where the exudate is only inside the product, inside this main part of this product, and no border coverage. You can observe no border coverage. Yes, every border is free of exudate. So it's a time to wait for maybe 1-2 days for the dressing change. Another situation, 50% of border is covered by exudate. So maybe it's not time for a dressing changing, but it's time to decide. Maybe 1 day more, maybe 2 days, but you can be carefully and 3-4 days will be too long for the visit. And 75% of border is covered by exudate, and absolutely it's a time for the dressing changing. So in time of telemedicine, in time of we have a lot of system for communication with patients. Maybe it's a good idea to give the patient 1 more day, and this is some Smith and Nephew system. Smith and Nephew organized this action. It's called 1 more day, or 1 more day approach, and we do it all the time in our clinic because it's of course necessary to change the dressing, but sometimes the dressing is not fully with exudate. So we decide, okay, the next visit will be 1 more day. What it means? The patient has 1 more day for the live with family, for the walking, for the spending the normal life. And when the healing process is 3 months, 6 months, 1 year from time to times, we save a lot of time for the patient, and we also save the time of our nurses. So think about it, especially because we have a product with super absorbent, and it is possible to save time, and maybe it's a good time to introduce 1 more day approach in your clinics. Of course, it's not a good idea for every patient, but only for part of them. It's a good idea for mobile patients, for patients with not so problematic wounds, not for patients with infected wounds. during the healing process, we need a 1 month for resolve the problem of infection, and 3 or 4 for closing the wound. So a long time we use a product and we catch the exudate and we observe the closing the wound, and maybe this idea will be helpful for some of your patients. And what is important, 24% of our patients have a wound more than 6 months, and 16 of them has a wound more than 1 year. So it's a very, very long period. And when we introduce this 1 more day approach, we can save a lot of time, and also we can save a time of our nurses. Nurses, it's very, very important person in my clinic and in another wound care clinic in Poland. Why? Because we have not enough nurses, and we have not so many nurses educate in the wound care area, and we have a lot of wounds in Poland. We have no good data, but probably at this moment we have more than 700,000 people with chronic wounds. So we need a lot of wound care clinics, a lot of healthcare professional, and we try to be effective with using this time, because we have a lot of patients who have to wait a lot of time for the visit. So we try to hurry up, but of course we spend 2 hours for every first visit and 1 or 1.5 hour for the next. But we try to 1 more day, to give the 1 more day for this situation when it's possible, and in this during this strategy we save the time. A few data from my clinic. I analyzed the frequency of visit on May 25-30. It was 1 week. The last week, and there was 100 patients with visits who has a visit, only 1 visit weekly. 100 patients. I was surprised because of it. I know that it's a big part of our patients, but it was very, very. I was surprised, and a similar amount of patients has 2 visits weekly, and only 35 patients has 3 visits weekly. What does it mean? That almost all patients visit our clinic 1 or 2 times weekly. So we have very complicated patients. We have a lot of patients with infection, with circular venous leg ulcer, with big pressure ulcer, with complicated diabetic foot syndrome. In another situation, they change the dressing every day or sometimes few times daily. So we have a lot of product. We know this product very good, and we try to give our patients 1 more day. So maybe this approach will be useful also for your patients. And very important issue, how to protect the peri-wound skin, because when we have exudate, we have also the problem with peri-wound skin. We use a lot of product, but what is the most important? We try to minimize skin contact. So we try to use from the beginning product with contact layer. A few years ago, there was no a super absorbent on the market with contact layer. Now we have a few products with contact layer, and it's a next step in management of exudate, I hope. The second sorry, some problem with changing the slides. Okay. The second idea how to protect the peri-wound skin is using of barrier cream. We have a few barrier cream. This one is Secura Z40 with 30% of zinc, and it's very useful in case of heavy exudate, like here or here. We use this product also in case of maggots therapy, because there is a lot of exudate when you use the maggots. And film, Secura film, it's a special product dedicated for improve the foil adhesive when we use a adhesive product like negative pressure, like Alevin adhesive, Alevin Life, or another adhesive foam. And it protects the skin before the exudate, and also improve the foil adhesive. So it's very interesting, and every adhesive product in our clinic we use this. In case of every adhesive product in our clinic, we use this Secura film. And the last step with our with our protection of peri-wound skin, we have to choose the correct product to the volume of exudate. When there is a heavy exudate, we use non-bordered product. We use a big product like Alevin Life non-bordered. When there is moderate, maybe better or enough, will be Alevin adhesives or Alevin non-adhesive. So you have to use all these products and in your portfolio and decide which one will be adequate to the amount of exudate. And another point of view, another system of using some of product with high capacity. I think it was not an idea when this product was produced, but during using this product, the scientists, the clinicians observed that this good influence for the pressure ulcer. Why? Because Alevin Life has a hard construction. There are a few 5 layers, so it's not so gently, and the pressure is divided big area. So you can observe at this analysis there is no red point. There is normally the pressure is 1000 or more millimeter of mercury on the sacral area. Here is also 283. So it was because Alevin Life relays this pressure on a big area. And European pressure ulcer advisory panel. Now we have a few fresh new guidelines from 12/19, but there are very popular last guidelines from 2014. And they suggest to use some product like prophylaxis of bed sores, prophylaxis of pressure ulcer, especially, of course, not for every patient, but especially for critical patients, for patients with obesity, patient qualified for operating, They spend a lot of time on a flat area, and there is a high risk of pressure ulcers. So this product is also for this group of patients. And in few cases, patients with heavy exudate, when there is a lot of exudate, I try to use negative pressure. It's very useful because all exudate is going to the canister. We have possibility to change the canister every day. So there is a dry skin, peri-wound skin. There is a healthy peri-wound skin, but this is more expensive than using conventional dressing, and especially in Poland because we have no reimbursement for negative pressure, but we have good reimbursement for conventional dressings. So at one moment we have to decide, okay, it was the period, it was the time when we need negative pressure. From this time, the super absorbent, the foam will be enough, and it will be cheaper. The dressing changes are not so often, and there is not so many exudate, and it's good for promote the epithelialization. It's more difficult to organize epithelialization using negative pressure. So we have to decide in which moment switch to the another strategy. And the patient with Charcot osteoarthropathy, ulcer in a regular area, and a sign of infection and a biofilm. So at this moment, there was no infection, we start with Allevin adhesive, the big one, because the capacity is bigger than the small, and we close this wound using articled flex and this product, and also total contact cast. It was necessary to offload this wound because the main cause of this wound was pressure, was no offloading. And when we finish this patient, when we close the wounds, we prepare our orthopedic market. They prepare a special shoe. It was Crow Charcot Restrain orthotic walker dedicated for patients with a complicated Charcot osteoarthropathy. The healing process was almost half a year, so very, very long time, and very a lot of visits for why? Because there was an obesity and there was no good compliance with patients in the area with area of offloading, and the pressure ulcer, and also very big exudate. So we start with very heavy exudate. We start with negative pressure, and after finishing this period, we switch on PICO, on single-use negative pressure, and we finished with conventional product. This one is Allevin Live at with this indicator, leakage indicator. And we finish this patient with this, finish this case with this product. A venous leg ulcer, 33 years old man with thrombophilia and thrombosis of deep veins. So there was no prophylaxis, no compression therapy. So of course, oedema and pressure and venous leg ulcers on both legs. And there was not so many exudates, so we start with Iodosorb. Iodosorb is an antimicrobial product in form of plastoline, and Allevin non-adhesive. Why non-adhesive? Because there is a compression, and we choose the non-adhesive product in case of compression, non-bordered product. And compression, yes, this is the main idea, the main problem, the oedema. When we reduce the oedema, we start with healing process with granulation tissue, promote the granulation tissue, promote the epithelialization, and after finishing, we have to measure patients for a special stocking for the hostility and educate him how to use it properly, how to change it every 6 months, and it's impossible to qualify it for operation because there is damage of deep vein. But when patient use this hosier regular, there is no recurrence. And the whole message for you. We have a time for answer and question and answer, but a small home message for you. Remember that exudate is very important in the healing process, but it's also harmful substance that break down the cell supporting extracellular matrix. So we have to catch it in the foam, in the super absorbents, in the negative pressure canisters, and promote the healing in this case. Remember about one more day approach. It's idea to save the time of our patients and also save the time of our nurses, our doctors, our healthcare professional. I think it will be very important to think about this idea, this approach in the future, because we have not so many new nurses on the market, and every year we have more patients with chronic wounds. So we need a product which help us to support them. Remember about protecting the peri-wound skin. We have some barrier cream, we have films, but we have also have the possibility to use dressings with contact layer with adhesive product to catch this exudate just to the foam, to the super absorbent, and leave the peri-wound skin dry. And prevention of bed sores. Remember that the same product with a good capacity, which are good for the heavy exudate wounds, are a good choose for the prevention of bed sores in our critical patients and with our patients with obesity before the operation. And it's there is a lot of paper about this. Okay, this is good time for question and answer. The first one: do you allow your patient or their relation to change the dressing themselves at home, maybe after consultation by phone or WhatsApp? Thank you, Anton, for this general question. It's a very important question because we have a very, very special situation at this moment in Poland. Almost all our patients, I mean the patients with chronic wounds in Poland, have to change the dressing themselves at home. It's connected with the construction of the system. There is impossible to take all these patients to outpatient clinic because we have no enough healthcare professional. We have no enough clinics. So it is impossible. It is necessary, but of course we knew the data. We knew the papers. The best place for patients with chronic wounds is multidisciplinary treatment teams. The best way to be cost effectiveness is change all dressing changes realized in a wound care clinic. It's cheaper. It's the cheapest. It's the fastest. It's the best way. It's not my opinion only. It's a lot of paper about it. But it is impossible at this moment. And also it will be impossible for the next 5 years, because we need a lot of time for educate people, for build these places. So maybe your idea, I mean telemedicine, is a good idea. It's of course better than nothing. When we have one doctor, for example me, I have only 4 or 5 patients every day. Only 5 patients. It's nothing. But I need 2 hours for every patient. It's very complicated cases. They wait a lot of time for the visit, and I have to prepare the treatment plan for this patient, because the next visit will be realized by our nurses. So we use this telemedicine at this moment, but only for easy cases. For example, patient with circular venous leg ulcer, we need a compression therapy. A good system are not dedicated for the patient, are dedicated for the healthcare professional. I mean Profor, I mean short stretch bandages. A negative pressure is a normal device in our clinic. We have 25 devices. It's very popular, more than 1,000 applications per year. It's forbidden to use it by patients. It's for the healthcare professional. So maybe the easy wounds, okay, it's idea for this time, but we have to look at the horizon. The horizon is a lot of wound care clinics financed by our government, and I think it's only one way to close this big problem of wound care in my country and also in other countries. Okay. Jaki opatrunek polecał Pan dla osób ku podeszłym z ranami żelokowymi, czystymi i wielkim wysięgiem? I try to translate it to the English. What kind of dressing do you suggest in case of older patient with venous leg ulcer, clean venous leg ulcer with moderate exudate? With moderate exudate, try with Levin Life non-bordered and observe. Maybe it will be good to use the 7 days compression with Levin Life non-bordered, and you realize only 1 visit weekly, not 2. Normally, when we use a short stretch bandages, we need 2 visits weekly. And in case when we use a multi-components compression, we have 1 week. So when you use maybe more expensive product, because Levin Life is non-bordered is more expensive than Levin non-adhesive, yes, but you saved 1 visit, 1 more day approach, few days more. You save more than 1 day. So but if you have no possibility to use this kind of good quality compression, when you use a normal bandages, maybe try with cheaper product, or maybe non-adhesive. It's enough for our patient with moderate exudate when the wound is not so big. You have to try. It's better to choose the better product and next go down to the products with smaller capacity. Do you work only on Smith & Nephew product in your clinic? No, absolutely no. We cooperate with all companies. We have more than 500 kind of products in our clinic. It will be impossible because every healthcare professional have some portfolio of products, and we have a very complicated wounds. Sometimes we need something from another. So, but it's true that we start with Smith & Nephew, and we know this product very well, and I think that more than half of our patients use Smith & Nephew product. Have you thought about creating a branch in other cities in Poland? In Wrocław, for example. Thank you for the idea, but it's probably not idea for me. Maybe it's idea for you. Why? It's very complicated to organize wound care clinic. I don't. I will be happy then you have more a lot of power and heart for produce another clinics. But I spend a lot of my part of my life for construct it, and I have now not enough power for the next similar place. Why? It's not so good business. Yes, it's a very good place for work. It's a very good place for the helping people. It's a good idea for the life, but it's not a business. So look, nobody is interested. No, I mean the big hospital, Medicover, LuxMed, NLMed. There is no wound care clinic. Why? We have a lot of patients. We have a lot of products. It's not so complicated. Why? It's not a good business. Yes. So one PODOS in Poland at this moment is enough for me. Maybe my colleagues, maybe another. But thank you for this idea, and I keep my finger for you, and it will be. It is necessary, absolutely necessary. Okay. We have no more question. If you have another question, if you've maybe not connected with exudate, we have a few minutes for answering. I hope that it will be possible to repeat to our normal strategy for education. I mean the workshop, I mean the meeting in the clinic, stages, spending time with the patients. The education is very important for me and for my team. But at this moment, the webinars are only one possibility for educate. So you can observe a lot of webinars with a lot of areas, also wound care. So it's good time for education. Okay, because we have no more question. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for spending this hour with us, and you're welcome for the next webinar. I hope it will be something interesting. At this moment, we have no idea, but I hope there is a lot of problems in wound care, and maybe transmission for our clinic will be interested for you from the our normal daily practice, normal patients. And if you are ready for organize similar event, I wait for it. I wait for you. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.